Oh, hey, a new Tarkov trailer. What's this? A new edition. Okay. This might be cool. Okay, single player, sure. What is this, like 20 bucks? Like, there's barely anything out there. Is this like some sort of new special edition with like barely anything? Wait, let me look it up. Let me go and see. Maybe I'm gonna pay 20 bucks for this. Huh? What the? $250? Well. Hello, fellow virgins. It is I, Super Virgin here, and today marks the end of an era. Battlestate games have shown their true colors and the little respect that people still had for them after shit they tried to pull in the last year. Their dwindling reputation has just completely imploded. Today, I'd like to talk about why the Unheard Edition of Tarkov is just a joke. To explain the controversy behind this whole situation, behind this new edition that's coming out, let's go back a little bit in time. A couple of months back, Edge of Darkness edition, which was the most expensive edition for I think about 150 euros or 160 bucks, was removed from the store. They said it was in preparation for the full release of the game. You know, there might have been other reasons. We don't really know, all of it behind the scenes, but what we do know is they removed it. And then last week around, they actually got a lot of people banned. A lot of cheaters got banned. A lot of these probably had Edge of Darkness edition. They couldn't get this new edition. So now, yesterday, they posted a trailer for the newest Tarkov edition called the Unheard Edition. The differences between each and every edition has already been pretty big. The standard edition being, what was it, like 40 or 50 bucks, something like that. Then the Edge of Darkness edition being 150 bucks, which then of course made quite a huge difference. There were a lot of difference between these editions, but most of the items that you got early from Edge of Darkness, you were able to get in standard edition, going from stash size to the container to the weapons to pretty much everything you got. This was also proven multiple times by a person in the community, Pestily, a very big content creator for Tarkov, who has this hardcore series where he plays on a standard edition version of the game with literally nothing. He deletes everything he has in the game, not a ruble to his name, and then he just starts playing the game and shows how you can actually grow with literally nothing. With me, I have here the biggest differences between everything, but Edge of Darkness, I'll give you what this used to all give you, like what this version of the game gave you. So I gave you guaranteed instant access to the closed beta, which is pretty much every single edition. Then a digital copy preload, which was also every edition. A huge size of stash, which was pretty true. It was a lot bigger than what you got in standard edition. It was max level once hideout came. So in standard edition, you just have level 1 and you have to actually upgrade it. Then additional equipment and resources in stash. Those are guns, ammo, money, I think just a bunch of stuff just coming with it. You can tell by the picture what kind of is included in all of this in this bundle. Then initially good standing with all in-game traders. This wasn't a big difference. Most of the time it wasn't that huge of a difference. You could still kind of get your traders up and you still had to put in a lot of hours even with Edge of Darkness edition. Then you had a unique in-game ID, which was basically just you got the crown next to your name, nothing that special, just something to show, hey, this person bought this edition, he's supporting the devs, definitely something cool. And then free access to all subsequent DLCs, which is basically a season pass. Now I want you to take that last one, that last point there, and really keep it in your mind, because I'm going to talk a little bit, but then we'll go over to the newest edition. Another big thing about Tarkov and these editions is that you could buy the standard edition and actually upgrade. I think a lot of people did buy the standard edition originally. I know I did. I paid 40 bucks or something for the game, and then years later when my friends wanted to buy it, I upgraded for I think 90 bucks, which eventually does come with a bit more money or a bit less than it originally would have cost if I bought the full edition. I don't know how it exactly works. I don't know the exact prices. I bought the game in 2017, so that was quite a long time ago. There were slight aspects to this that were kind of pay to win, like for instance the Gamma container is a 3x3 instead of the standard container you get, which is a 2x2. those additional stash paces where you could, if you knew which items you had to get for certain quests later in the game, of course you had a lot more space. This isn't really that big of a difference in my opinion, but it was still a little bit of an advantage. Of course, this wasn't that big of a problem because, like I said, you could upgrade to these editions, so anyone who did upgrade was just a big fan of the game. They tried to help the developers out by saying, here, you can have my money, and also because, DLCs and stuff. Like I previously said, Edge of Darkness edition was removed. Of course, there was one reason that we now know as to why they removed that edition in the first place.
Money!
See, like I said, the biggest reason that people would buy this edition, not only to support devs, was because you had this, you would get every DLC. You had this season pass. So what DLC has been released since, well, let's say 2017, since I bought the game? We've had Tarkov Arena. They invested way too much money on it. It flopped, honestly. It flopped magnificently. It was just so... It wasn't bad, it was done well, but it was nothing more than a game mode for Tarkov. And they asked for a way too high price to buy it individually. It was definitely a great thing to get people into Tarkov so they could actually constantly be in fights, get used to the gunplay, this and that. It's what got me back into it because I actually started playing the game again. I started playing Arena, felt that the guns felt better, and then went back into the game. So I think it did really help with Tarkov. But the problem was that DLC was actually supposed to deliver like 2 or 3 years prior to when it did. This is of course the usual situation when it comes to BSG. They promise something, like they promise Streets of Tarkov, and then they say, oh, it's going to be this wipe, and then next wipe they say it's going to be this wipe, and then they keep doing that until eventually it releases 2 or 3 years after it was originally supposed to release. And they even released Lighthouse in between that, so let's not get into the fact that they don't even know how to prioritize actual stuff. There was a bit of controversy back then actually, because Nikita didn't even want people who had EOD to get Tarkov Arena, because I think he probably realized that because they took so many years, so many people bought EOD that anyone who wanted to play Arena would be able to play it for free. Like they would barely get any money out of it. So yes, the snippets you saw in the beginning of this video is about this new edition, the Unheard Edition. It has been released, this video, and it has gotten some negative reviews. I think a lot of the points that I'm going to make here will definitely show this. So let's go over, first of all, before we even go over a price tag, let's go over the differences between this and EOD, and let's talk about how this all works. So again, we go for guaranteed instant access to closed beta and a digital copy preload. This is pretty normal stuff. Just the standard edition that gets that. Then you get access to the PvE co-op mode with persistent progression. Progression will not be reset with wipes. This is something that they said they were going to deliver. It has now been shown that this is only available in this edition. Only available, you cannot buy it separately. We'll talk about that later. Then an enhanced stash size of 10 times 72. This is, if you saw my previous picture of EOD, it was 10 times 69. So this means that you had four extra rows compared to EOD. So these are 4 rows in your stash. Out of experience, I can say that with EOD edition, you have more than enough stash space. If you don't know what you're doing, please fix your shit. Then you have a unique in-game ID, so they just made a new one, probably some fucking, I don't know, instead of a crown, they just have something different now. Then expanded PMC pockets. I'm not going to go over this too much. It is slightly pay to win, but again, this is not that extreme. It's just stupid. Then increased fence standing, which is just also stupid. More slots on the flea market, which is that's pretty much the main way to make money in the game, so that is just straight up what the fuck. A unique in-game melee weapon, that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. Melee weapons are pretty much the most useless thing in the entire game. Increased mail retention time, which means that if you die and you get your stuff back, it takes longer before they say, oh fuck you, you lost your stuff. Again, pretty useless. If you play the game like daily, you're gonna get your stuff back either way. Additional background screen option. I don't even know how the fuck that this is genuinely something that they tried to put in here, as if this is like something cool to get. An additional main menu background screen option. Really? That's so special. And then the cherry on top of the cake, free access to all subsequent DLCs. Now you might think to yourself, oh well, EOD had this, right? And so EOD got removed, so anyone who has EOD now gets this. But then in this new edition, there's also a way to get the season pass. No, there is not. This is the EOD doesn't get shit anymore. We do still get something, but I'll tell you about that later, but still. And then there's access to the early test server and, of course, additional equipment, which if you look at the picture of the Unheard Edition, you can tell is a lot more. There's cases in there as well. A lot more stuff that is, you know, a pretty weird kind of stuff that they put in there to have from level 1. And then we'll look at the price, which is fucking insane. So when you look at the price, taxes included, buying this, you don't have any addition to the game, costs you 299 euros and 70 cents. So let's go to 300 euros. How are you going to convince anyone in the whole fucking world to buy a game for 300 bucks when they have never played it? That is a scam if I've ever heard it. It is crazy that they did this. And then if you want to upgrade from EOD to this edition, this Unheard Edition, well, that means with taxes, this is again 115.67 euros. So we'll be fucking precise here. This is more than 100 euros. After I've already paid 150 or something euros in this game. What the fuck are they doing? This edition costs literally double that EOD cost. Like, it barely adds anything compared to EOD edition, but it costs double. Now, one of these DLCs, which is fucking crazy, the story is just amazing. One of these DLCs coming out is the co-op PvE that will be added without wipes. This is a cool little addition. It's definitely something that's cool to see that they add this to the game. But again, like I said, you cannot get this in any other way except for buying this edition, which means that even if you've already put in the amount of money that I've put in, you still have to pay more than 100 euros to play the game without other people in your game. The worst part about that is the fact that that is actually a mod. There is a mod called Single Player Tarkov, which as it states is single player, but there's then of course another mod for that mod, because Single Player Tarkov is moddable, that adds the multiplayer to it so that you can actually play co-op PvE for free. Now this currently doesn't work in this version of the game, but in previous versions it has worked. So if you go back to previous versions, you can actually get it to work. On top of that, what have BSG done? They have delisted Escape from Tarkov from Nexus mods, so that no mods on Nexus mods can still be linked to it, so that nobody can mod it. They have altered text, they have changed stuff on their website so that it doesn't say, for instance, the gamma container in the EOD edition or something, or wherever else it can be, now no longer says unique, because that was what the thing was. It was unique to that edition. They removed that now because as you can tell by the picture of the Unheard Edition, the gamma container is also included in that. So this is no longer unique. This is something that they've just added. They've removed that text from the site so that people might actually think, hey, this isn't actually, it's only if you buy this edition. Then we have a batshit fucking crazy argument about this DLC that one of the devs tried to make. I don't remember if it was Battlestate Games saying this or a dev saying this. He said that, you know, just because they want the PvE to be a DLC, just because we want that, doesn't make it a DLC. They somehow say that this isn't DLC. They somehow say that this is something else. I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be, but it's not DLC, apparently. So, What is it then? Like, legitimately, what is it? DLC stands for downloadable content. You have your base game, Escape From Tarkov, and then you have a separate, it's a mode, honestly, or even a different, like, the edition, right? It's what they call it, a different edition. But even in this picture, even when they like give the points on what this is, they even say it's a PvE co-op mode. It's a DLC. It's literally coming after the game releases. It is downloadable content because you don't actually need it to play the game. It is DLC through and through. But apparently, I don't know. And then the worst part about this, again, is that you cannot get this any other way. You have to buy this edition to play PvE. Why? There are totally so many people that would love to play PvE with no wipes, just playing with their friends, having fun, learning the maps, dying way less, doing their quests, just having loads and loads of fun just with their friends. This is a wonderful idea, but paywalling it is the worst idea. So how can you like give me the most tasty meal and then shit in it? Like, how do you do that and then expect me to still eat it? Like, that is so fucking crazy to me. And then, of course, the reason why they do this is very explainable, of course, is the €300 price tag they put on this. But if they don't have this new mode that you cannot access any other way, and they remove this and they sell it for, let's say, €50, which is still insane that you would ask that price for basically the same game, but just with less. But if you pay €50 for that, that would mean that all the other stuff, like something we already had from EOD, and then just a little bit of stash size and some extra standing and pockets and whatnot, just like small little things for €250, that would show that it's not even like a bigger scam. So of course they're not going to sell it. This is the selling point. PvE is the selling point. And I know this because I actually have one or maybe two, I haven't checked yet, but I have at least one friend of mine who already bought the upgrade to this edition because he's wanted to play PvE so fucking much, and now they're supporting it. It's crazy. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to milk out this money just for this PvE mode. This shows that they have done so much false advertising, and they have shown that money is worth more than integrity. It is honestly sad. Now, this is clearly the small little features that I just mentioned are even more kind of pay to win. They're not giant features like the pockets. Instead of having 4 1 slots, you have 2 1 slots and 2 2 slots. So you have 2 extra slots in your pockets, which means you can actually put mags in your pockets and reload your gun that way. There are multiple uses to this, but honestly, 2 slots is just not that much. The 4 rows in the stash, I already said, is pretty much useless. The additional content, except for the cases, I don't really see why modded guns, like, they're special in the beginning, but they're not that cool. Increased melee retention time, I've already said, this is useless. A unique in-game melee weapon, this is useless. More slots on the flea market, that is bullshit. That is bullshit. And then other than that, when I look at this, there is one more part that actually isn't shown in this picture. This is probably in the additional equipment and resources in stash. But when you look at the additional equipment and resources in stash, this means that your skills, your certain amount of skills, I don't remember exactly which ones, but certain skills that you have to level throughout the game that actually do affect the gameplay are now leveled higher because you bought this edition. So when the new wipe hits next time, people who have this edition actually already are level, I think, 5 or something in certain skills, which would mean you would already have to play at 10 or 20 hours with that character before that would actually happen. So this is a head start of 20 hours plus equipment plus more fence rep and the flea market thingy, and it's just a head start you're buying basically for the wipe. And a lot of people complain that the game is more difficult, so this is pretty much for anyone whining about how the game is too difficult. They just say, here, you pay a lot of money and you can stop whining, because first of all, you get a head start, and secondly, you get PvE, so you can't whine anymore. That's what they're doing. They're not fixing the issue here. They're just saying, here, shut the fuck up. Today, or maybe still yesterday, I don't remember, time zones, fuck all of that, Nikita actually tried to do a bit of damage control. Now, he made a Reddit post, which didn't go too well either. They still shat on him like crazy, and I understand why, because let me just go into this. So, what he said is, to honor the owners of the EOD version and their indelible importance and role in the EF2 universe, let me just say what kind of fucking bullshit that is. You've shat in our mouths, don't try to make it seem like it's chocolate. We plan to add the following new unique features to the EOD edition. Remember that this says unique. This means that no other edition should be able to get this. This is also, I'm not saying like, oh, yay, I get this. I'm just saying, why the fuck would you do this? Faster return of insured items. Cool, but nothing special. Increase personal trader buying limits by 20%. This is an issue in Tarkov. My previous Tarkov video, I mentioned that personal item limits are stupid and you shouldn't be able to have them. This is actually quite a weird fucking thing, because this is not the issue here. These personal buying limits are not a problem, but the global buying limits are. This is something that I mentioned in my previous Tarkov video. When you do a new wipe and you try to get the medicine case trade up, you legitimately have to wait for therapists to refresh, and then within not even a minute, she's just sold out with that, and you have to wait another 2 hours to do it, and that goes on for a month or so before you can actually get a medicine case properly, which is crazy to me. Let's continue. Then increased basic PMC karma when it will be implemented. We don't even know what this is. We do not know what this is. We don't know what PMC karma is. We don't know when it will be implemented. It might be the most shitty thing out there, so I don't need that. Then, access to a unique hideout craft. I have no fucking clue what that means. That is the most vague shit I've ever seen. And secondly, why? Why would I, because I bought a certain edition, have the ability to make an extra item in my hideout? That makes no sense. Then, increased basic charisma skill. So, they gave the other edition a bunch of skills that leveled up, and they just give us charisma. So we get better trades, I guess. It's just stupid. Then special quest line with increased pocket side as a reward. So instead of giving us those pockets, right, saying like, oh yeah, you get those too, they have to, like I said, unique. So they actually just give us quests, a quest line. I don't know, like anyone who's watching this probably played Tarkov at some point. How long are some quest lines? This could be 20 fucking missions. We don't know because they don't specify this at any point. Then, the ability to skip 2 daily quests per day free of charge. That should be free just in general. Even then, like daily quests, skipping them is like not even 10k rubles. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cry about the fact that I lost 5k rubles when I have 10 mil in my fucking account. That makes no sense why I would care about that. A unique dog tag. I don't know what this means. Am I no longer Yusek? Am I no longer Bear? Or do I just have a random little icon next to my name? Because that means jack shit. Unique armband, again, means jack shit. By the time people are shooting at you, your armband doesn't mean anything. A unique set of clothing. Listen, if this is something like, oh, you supported us back in the day in an edition that we have removed, that is cool. But still, the way that they've done this is just they have to post this in a Reddit post. They didn't post this on their actual Twitter. They didn't post this anywhere that you would find this if you didn't follow social media. We have a unique legacy device. So thank God we have the legacy device. Have you heard? The legacy device. What the fuck is a legacy device? I don't know what this shit is. Nobody knows this. You do, Nikita. You do. You know that this is probably some fucking button you can press that says you've been scammed. And that's what it all gonna be. Like in 3 fucking months, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this legacy device. And it's literally just gonna be a button that plays an audio. And when you press that button, it's just Nikita saying you've gotten scammed. And then just him laughing. And they run off with the money. That's what I think this is gonna be. And then high priority matching for EOD owners for 6 months. What do you mean for 6 months? High priority matching for EOD owner for 6 months. First of all, I have no fucking clue what this means. Does this mean that I get better servers? Does this mean that I join a game faster? Does this mean that there are less hackers? Because that is fucked that I have to have a certain edition to not get hackers in my game. Excuse me? And then access to the online PvE for EOD owners for 6 months. So you're telling me that this season pass that I got grants me the PvE for 6 months, and then after that I can no longer play it. First of all, why would I invest that time? Oh, I get it now. They want to try and convince us. They want to try and let us play a bit of PvE, spark a little bit on us, and then right when we're hooked on it after 6 months, they just sweep the rug from under us and says, fuck you, $115 please. No. And then the best part about this post is just, we will provide those changes and additions as fast as possible. And like I stated with BSG, that might be in 3 fucking wipes. Jesus Christ. This is, I don't even know how to say this other than just spitting in the face of the fans. Anyone who supported the devs, the game, is just, there's a lot of backlash here, luckily. I'm very happy to see. I didn't actually see the backlash until I talked about it with a friend, and then we talked about it and we're like, what the fuck, this is fucked up. And then I looked at YouTube and saw the comments. I looked on Twitter, I saw the fucking tweets. It was crazy. It's a all-out war zone out there right now. And the like to dislike ratio on the YouTube video has, like, I think one of the most disliked YouTube videos out there. I think the ratio to that, they're rivaling each other at this point, because Jesus Christ. Even big names, like I mentioned, like Pestily and Landmark, are talking about how fucked up this is. Like how this can't be done, how this is not something that can be added.
Don't add junk like this that is giving people in-game stuff, and it's not pay to win, but you're giving people stuff that doesn't really belong in the game.
Now, I understand that Nikita even said that Escape from Tarkov, like, it originally was not a game that was supposed to do it that well. They were supposed to make that as a project, and it was supposed to, like, lay the stepping stones to make a single player. The only way I can really explain this is like a stalker without the monsters. So basically the PvE mode of Tarkov. That's pretty much what they were gonna make, but with an entire story to it, pure single player and whatever. Then Tarkov blew up way more than they expected, and they just kept supporting it because it got them money. It just completely just got them money. After seeing this, I'm gonna be honest with you, the accusations that BSG got that cheaters, you know, get them money and therefore they don't really want to remove cheaters, and it's why it took so long for them to do so. I'm starting to believe this. Sorry, but if I see shit like this happening, I can believe something that's in my eyes even like not as bad. So Nikita has just shown that he does not care about the fans. He does not care about the fans of his own game, a game he's been working on for 10 fucking years by now. So everyone's trust and respect ruined. But there is a positive to this, because where one slacks off, another comes to take in its place. Primarily, I'm looking at Gray Zone and Arena Breakout Infinite. Now, Gray Zone is set in some sort of jungle, and actually, the release date will be revealed next Monday, so in 3 days' time. So in 3 days' time, we'll all know when Gray Zone releases. It's been in beta. Apparently, it's doing pretty well. It looks really cool. I think the standard edition is about $50. Hell, the Ultimate Edition of that game costs less than I have to buy the upgrade for EOD for. So it's very easy to see which I'll be buying. And then we also have Arena Breakout Infinite, which on the 8th of May, which is in 2 weeks, it'll have a beta coming out, a closed beta, which you can actually sign up for. And it looks a lot like Tarkov, but it's basically a mobile game from Tencent coming to PC. Now, I know Tencent, they're not the biggest name, but we'll see what the beta says. We'll see what this game says. Maybe the monetization isn't that bad. If it is, too bad, but it's still looking good. Arena Breakout Infinite actually threw a bit of shade on Twitter to Battlestate games. Battlestate actually responded to the tweet saying something like, enjoy having to wait 20 minutes to play the game, or playing everything the game has to offer in 20 minutes. It was some solid response. They removed it, I think. I'm not completely sure, but I just can't seem to find the response. Now, the tweet from Arena Breakout Infinite goes as follows. Taking in all homeless shooter looter. With a big wave goodbye to Tarkov today, we're here to welcome you to Kimona. If this video gets 5,000 retweets, 10,000 more test slots will be added to our servers. Don't tell the boss. Escape from welcome to Kimona. So it's a bit of shade, you know, a big wave goodbye to Tarkov because everyone's hating it nowadays. And of course, they're adding more test slots so more people can join. Definitely something I would check out if you're a big fan of Tarkov. Now, personally, I believe that this is actually, in fact, the downfall of Tarkov. It was bound to happen, and it's not like we couldn't see this coming. A couple months back, they added microtransactions, and it was just simple little things, stash size and clothes and whatnot. And for that, I thought to myself, extra support, extra money, I understand that. But the thing is, BSG dipped their toes. They dipped their toes in that little money well. They were like, a little bit of extra money. And then they decided, we're going to swim in this well. And they've decided to swim yesterday. So I think right now, honestly, instead of swimming, they're drowning. That's actually a pretty cool way of putting it. But I think they're drowning because, Jesus Christ, this is bad. But what do you think? Is this the downfall of Tarkov? Or is Battlestate Games somehow going to revive it? Is somehow this still going to end up a good thing? They're gonna revert the changes, say sorry. We don't know, but still. Leave your opinion down in the comments below, and while you're down there, also like and subscribe. It tells YouTube, it tells the algorithm to spread my content out more. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.